Hello, beautiful people. My name is Fitz Rabin, and I'm so grateful to be here with you now, doing this, creating this video. Let me just give you a little bit of background. First of all, I'm in this absolutely phenomenal forest, this nature trail here, just a natural space. Just give you a minute to take that in. I'm in Detroit now. So grateful to be here for the month of August. Spending the month with family, with my parents, with my in-laws. And where I am right now is a place called the Cranbrook House and Gardens. Beautiful place if you're ever in the vicinity. So, here I am this morning with this idea, this insight that I want to share. It's incubating in me. And it's an insight that is born from my direct experience building and growing my coaching practice, which thank God has been successful. That means I create income from my coaching. That means I create a sustainable income, a living. I do it for a living. And it's also when I got into coaching, it's not like I had an intention to have a niche or anything like that, but by divine providence, God willed it, that others who were coaches at heart, who are coaches at heart, had, and not only coaches at heart, but even people who had been practicing as coaches and wanted support to really become successful, to really turn it into something sustainable, financially sustainable, have been attracted to my message and to my work. And I've been able to support others to create and grow a thriving and sustainable coaching practice. So the insight that I want to share is really coming to you from the path of my direct experience, as well as that which I've experienced together with other people who I've supported on the same path. So I was talking to someone last week, and they are someone who tells me, look, I know I'm a coach. I'm coaching anyway, right? I get off the phone with people, I'm in conversation with friends, family. I'm helping them. I'm essentially coaching them. But I've talked to you, referring to me, and to some other coaches, and I've heard from Dave Ramsey, that the best way to build your practice, your lowest hanging fruits in terms of clientele, are your friends, and I don't want to solicit my friends. I've been a fundraiser for a bunch of years, and only 4 times did I ever ask my friends for money. I was in a desperate situation, I was in a pinch, I needed to meet certain benchmarks. I don't want to solicit friends. So that's not a path for me. And I get it. I totally get it. I mean, as I receive into myself and as I listen and as I hear the language, I don't want to solicit friends. What does it evoke within me? It evokes within me a certain neediness. It evokes within me a certain using. It's like I'm using this relationship, right? Which is mutual, which is reciprocal, and all that. I'm using the relationship now to my favor. I'm slanting it. Ooh, that's not nice. I'm just trying to feel into my body and into my kinesthetic experience of like, what does that expression of soliciting my friends actually awaken? Something surreptitious. Something sinister. Almost as if it's a bait and switch. I've been your friend, I've been your friend, I've been your friend. but really I just want to get something from you. These are the kinds of ideas that just the expression soliciting my friends evokes within me. And I totally get that. I don't either want to solicit my friends. I don't either want to be surreptitious. I don't either want to be a bait and switch kind of guy. I don't either want to take a relationship that's beautiful and that is mutually beneficial and reciprocal and then slant it into one angle and just use it to take something. I don't either want to do that. So, yeah, I'm in this forest, so I'm getting these flies attracted to me. So I totally appreciate and get that objection and how deeply rooted that can be inside of us. And not only how deeply rooted it can be inside of us, but how it's sourced in our inner goodness. We want to be equitable. We want to be there for our friends. We want to give. We want to create connectivity, reciprocity. We don't want to pull ourselves out of the cohesiveness of relationship and to distort it, to manipulate it, to turn it into something self-serving. And that's beautiful. And I love that about the people I get to interact with. There's so much innate goodness, so much love. And I also want to share with you a different perspective on it. And that I say this is not just an intellectual perspective, this is not just conceptual conjecture. This has been my experience, and this is what I practice, and this is how I live, and this is what I'm committed to embodying more and more and more profoundly. And the work that is involved in inhabiting the space of being a powerful coach, of being a champion for others, of being a leader. You see, here's the thing. If we're talking about soliciting, if we're talking about taking, if we're talking about surreptitiously manipulating a relationship to create a bait and switch, if we're talking about disturbing the equilibrium, the balance of the connectivity so that it's slanted towards my own neediness, that's something that I don't want to be doing, not only with my friends. I don't want to be doing that with anyone. I wouldn't want to do that with a stranger either. Why would I want to go onto social media or go onto Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube and go there like I'm fishing, show up in a proverbial pool of people just to be fishing, just to be taking? Why would I want to show up anywhere in life with a lens of strategy to take, to get, to usurp a situation, to take advantage of something? I wouldn't want to do that anywhere. Why not? It doesn't honor me, and it doesn't honor others. That's not me coming from a place of love. That's not me coming from a place of abundance. That's not me coming from a place of connection. That's not me coming from a place of vitality. And for me, vitality is synonymous with divinity. The divine is not needy. The divine doesn't need to get or take anything. It's the source of everything. So if I want to be in my own divinity and I want to experience my own divinity and I want to be fully vital and generous and loving and giving and creative and connected, so I wouldn't want to step away from my own divinity under any circumstance. I mean, it happens, right? I've got the ego, the idea that I'm separate and cut off from my divine source. So it happens. I get caught up in fear. I get caught up in selfishness. I get caught up in the desire to take, to get. I get that. Yeah, it happens to all of us. But I certainly would not want to adopt that as a path or as a plan, not only with friends, but with anyone, anywhere. So if building a coaching practice, if making the shift from essentially free coaching to paid coaching is a matter of solicitation, is a matter of strategizing, is a matter of getting, is a matter of taking, is a matter of usurping situations, taking advantage of people to slant things in my advantage. Ew, no thank you. That's not for me. That is not for me. That is not vitalizing for me. That is not fulfilling for me. That is not why I'm here. So what is it about? Well, I can tell you what it's about for me. For me, my journey from not being a paid coach to being a paid coach has rested fundamentally, primarily, and essentially in one critical shift. A critical shift in awareness, a critical shift in consciousness that, I may add, does not come naturally. It's something that I have to commit myself to. It's something I must work on. What is that shift? You know what that shift is? That shift is stopping to deny and diminish my own greatness and the impact that I'm having. Myself, just like many other people that I know, like this person was telling me, I'm already coaching, I'm already helping. I myself as well was already coaching, already helping. As a matter of fact, I had friends telling me, Fitz, you gotta coach, Fitz, you gotta coach, Fitz, you gotta coach. I'd be like, me, what? What are you talking about? I'm just a nut job. I'm just a crazy man. I needed to do all those years of therapy because I'm so crazy. And I just needed to get myself to the baseline of normalcy. So I had to do all those years of therapy. I had to hire my own coaches. I had to read all the books that I read. I had to journey the way I have. I had to work with myself the way I do because I'm so crazy and deformed. So if I want to get myself up to a baseline of normalcy, I have to do all those things. What do I have to coach? What do I have to give? I sincerely did not know of myself as having gifts to give and having insight and awareness and love and context and perspective and possibility to offer people and to create access to for them and for their own life. So many of my friends were growing their lives through our relationship, through the path that I was on, through the work that I was doing with myself, through the insight that I'm constantly deepening. I had a friend that likes to call me Rush Limbaugh, he says, because Rush Limbaugh was able to articulate very masterfully on any subject, even the most obtuse subjects that you'd never think there'd be anything to say about it. He'd created in language like an exquisite portrait, very entertaining. So he says, Fitz, you're Rush Limbaugh. You bring language to some of the most obscure stuff, to some of the most seemingly dormant realities or aspects of life. I've had other friends who were in the 12-step program, drawing inspiration from me, growing, healing, just through our relationship, just through who I am, just through how I live my life. But I denied it all. I had a narrative. I had a screen, a lens that I saw it all through, which was no. I mean, good for them. If they're growing and they're benefiting from that, that's beautiful. But I'm just a crazy guy trying to survive. That's really all that's going on here. There's nothing more to it. So the critical shift, the essential shift, the fundamental shift for me and for almost every single coach that I've supported to move from free coaching to paid coaching, to move from paid coaching session by session without committed clients to clients who are committed and pay for packages of coaching. To move from very low fees that don't reflect the value of the work and the value of the impact towards fees that do reflect the value of the work and the value of the impact, has been getting straight with myself, getting straight with ourselves about who we are, about what we embody, about what it is that incubates within us, and how that is in fact an access point for other people to get in touch with their own greatness, with their own magnificence, with what's possible for them. Inhabiting that space, quitting to deny it, quitting to diminish it. So, let's take a look at my friends. My friends were all growing through their relationship with me. Now, I myself have experienced the fundamental difference between getting help for free, that's I have not invested into and paid for, versus investing into myself through hiring a coach. Once I make that payment, the statement that it is about my own self, the way in which that is an embodied declaration about myself as an asset worthwhile investing into, which is more than just a pep talk or a positive self-talk. It is literally, it is a way of creating myself as the asset. It is a way of coming to know myself as infinitely valuable, as a gold mine to begin mining. Okay, the action of making that investment is so much more powerful than the idea of me being worthy. It is a way of literally embodying worthiness. It is a way of me expressing and experience worthiness in my body, in my heart, creating new neural pathways in my brain about who I am. So there's a radical difference of what becomes possible for someone the moment they invest in themselves and pay money. The same exact conversation that someone has with me for free usually nets them less value than if they were to pay for it. It's not a difference in content. I show up the same way when I'm having a conversation with someone that's not paid or when I'm having a conversation with someone that is paid. But that person shows up differently. When they've paid for it, they're on the edge of their seat. When they're paid for it, they're listening differently. When they've paid for it, they're engaged with a higher degree of accountability and commitment and enthusiasm and creativity. So now say I have friends and I'm coaching them for free and they're growing through the relationship. To me, my friends who I love and care about would be the first people that I would turn around and say, hey guys, you've been growing tons. I have an idea. Why don't we create a structure where you could actually commit yourself and commit me to growing your life? I'll coach you. You pay me and I'll coach you. Once you pay into your own growth, you will skyrocket. You will catapult to new levels that are just not accessible to you as long as you're growing in a pedestrian way or recreational way or even in a serious way, but not so serious and not so confident for you to pay into yourself. And as for me, you'll have my time on a committed basis, not only casually when it works out or on a random occasion. You'll have my attention, full presence in those times. And you'll be able to grow your life to the next level. My friends would be the first people that I would offer that to. Some of my first clients were friends because I knew so well how much they were already getting out of the relationship. And it was just that shift in my own perspective of myself and my own willingness to embrace the impact that I was having, to trust the impact that I was having, to allow myself to perceive and come to know myself as a magnificent being. filled with courage, with power, with love, with light, with creativity, with possibility, with permissionlessness, with nonlinear thinking, with contextual awareness. It was that shift that had to happen in order for me to go ahead and then offer those friends that gift. So not only was it not soliciting my friends, or taking something from them, or trying to get something from them, or usurping the relationship, or slanting or manipulating a situation that was neutral. No, it was me giving into them. It was me contributing. It was me loving. And continues to be until this day. If there's anyone who I would think of first, it would be my friends. The people who I love. The people who I know are so thirsty to grow. The people who I know have already expanded and blossomed through our relationship. They're the first people I would want to say, hey, I can help you take this to the next level. And I literally just got a voice note from one of my best friends this morning. He's a teacher. He recently completed the school year. He left me a 4.5-minute voice note saying, Fitz, I'm reflecting on the year. More leadership than I ever was this year. As a matter of fact, my employer is now kind of more beholden to me and kind of following my proposals and suggestions as opposed to the way it was in the beginning of the year when I was kind of felt more dependent on him and I didn't feel that same sense of freedom. Now, because of the creativity that I've shown up with, the powerful leadership I've shown up with, the way in which I've contributed this year into the school and into the class and into the students, my employer was like, whoa, this guy's up to something. I'm going along with him. So a greater leverage within the educational institution that he's operating in, way bigger impact than ever on his students. He made more money this year than he's made before. He coached some people professionally, another teacher and a colleague of his. Higher awareness, a more expanded experience of himself and his spirit and his soul than ever. One of my best friends. Wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It took me some time of being in relationship with him and loving him and offering him everything I had and telling him, look, bro, the casual pedestrian recreational growth is only going to get you so far. How do I know? Because I've been there, done that. And at some point he said, fine, Fitz, let's do it. He invested. He hired me. We worked together. We're actually going to continue our work. We're having a conversation today to continue our work together. So, to summarize this video, what I would say is not only don't solicit your friends, don't solicit anyone. See, I want you to get solicitation is a context. It's an orientation. It's a way of being oriented and a way of relating to the activity of coaching someone professionally, the activity of offering someone the gift of your coaching, the activity of offering someone a package, creating a structure for someone to invest in. My invitation to you is dissolve that orientation, dissolve that idea of solicitation, of getting, of taking, and switch it, your whole orientation, your whole being, to that of giving, loving, supporting. And what's the critical shift? Where is the needle that you got to move in order to tip the scales from an orientation of solicitation, taking, and getting to an orientation of loving, giving, supporting? That needle is your own self-concept. That needle is the extent to which you are willing to welcome into your own awareness the truth of your magnificence, the truth of your beauty, the truth of all of the wonderful gifts and qualities that you embody. And that thereby you create access to for other people and for the world. That's the insight. That's the insight. I'm so fired up about this, and I'm so grateful to have had this fabulous expanse in the woods to get to just express this idea and share this straight from my heart, straight from my being with you all. If something here resonates with you, you're a coach at heart, you're coaching people anyway for free, and you want to make that shift to do it professionally, you're doing it professionally already, but it's a little weak, you'd like to charge stronger fees or have people who commit to bigger packages, you'd like to up your game, you'd like to create greater sustainability in your coaching, you'd like to come to know yourself as the magnificent, loving, expansive, creative, generous, connected being that you are, reach out. That's my invitation to you. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to support you and see what it creates for you and for your purpose and for your mission in this world and for the entirety of humanity. I love you. God bless you. My name is Fitz. Have a beautiful day.